CSX in the garage, taking a test drive. I am Jim O'Brien, your humble host. How are you, man? We are driving the 2017 Hyundai Elantra Eco over some really lovely roads in Royal Oak, Michigan, where they forgot to pave certain parts, apparently. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the Eco badge. One of the very first cars I ever drove was an Eco. And I remember because it had a stick shift, and sixth was when you actually threw it into Eco mode. And it was horrible. I could be doing 70 miles an hour, I swear to God, on the freeway, doing 70, throw it into Eco mode, and the thing would just blah. And that's how a lot of Eco cars were to me. You drive them, and then you'd have to pay for getting better gas mileage by having a car that just went blah. No fun at all. So now we turn our eyes to the Hyundai Elantra Eco. New look for 2017, but is it really that big of a difference? The answer is a resounding yes, absolutely 1000% yes. I am stunned by this car. Seriously, I mean, it's pretty amazing. $21,000 is the sticker price. Bro? $21,000 for a four-door car, comfortably seats four people, heated front seats, dual zone air conditioning up front and heat as well. You got AM/FM satellite, Apple CarPlay, cruise control. You've got the lane departure as far as keeping your blind spot safety. That's in there as well. Handles well, does everything you need it to do, and here's the catcher. I'm getting over 40 miles to the gallon. Right now as I look, I'm averaging 41.3. That's about 60-40 highway versus city driving, but still 40 miles to the gallon. And I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's an eco car and it's going to go really slow.
No, not so much. 158 horsepower in this. And what's interesting is, that's a ton. That's a ton. People get obsessed with horsepower numbers. You don't need it. If you go back and look at the horsepower numbers for so-called muscle cars back in the day, we didn't have 400 or 500 horsepower cars. So it's all how they get the power to the car and the performance. They've got a 7-speed in this. It's automatic. I think it's called Shift-Matic. I don't know what they do with it with Hyundai, but it really, really, really finds the right gear all the time. Train tracks. 158 horsepower. I've left it in Eco mode. There is a sport mode. I don't know why anybody would use it, but if you're so inclined, have a blast. Plenty of giddy up. Absolutely no problems getting on the freeway, accelerating from the line, whatever you need. And again, over 40 miles per gallon. I was thinking about this too. Hyundai spun off Genesis and made it a separate brand of luxury cars. Last week in the podcast, I was talking about how Toyota was doing the same thing with Scion the other way. They had gotten rid of Scion and pulled those cars back in. Scion never made sense to me because Toyota made great small cars. Genesis makes perfect sense to me because Hyundai does this better than anybody. I mean, a small car like this that is just great to drive and practical. Genesis is a very cool car, and it should be its own brand. I hope you get where I'm going with that one. Bottom line, Hyundai Elantra Eco. You're getting over 40 miles to the gallon. $21,000, the sticker. I'm sure if you work on them, you can get them under 20. You just got to have a little effort there. AM/FM, satellite, everything I've talked about, bells and whistles, it's got a lot of them. Again, you're talking about a $21,000 car. Driving, it drives fine. I would like the steering to be a little bit more responsive. I think they could maybe do a better job with that. And then conversely, the suspension is a little bit soft. Actually, excuse me, the suspension is a little bit tough. It should be softer. I would love to see a little more travel in this. This is not the kind of car you're racing. When you're driving the Elantra, it's a work car, it's a family car, it's a kid in college. It's just a great car. You're going to buy it for that. So overall, the Hyundai Elantra Eco, it's the best eco car I've ever driven. 40 miles to the gallon from a four-cylinder that has plenty of giddy up. It looks great. Look at the front end on this car. It's a cool look. They definitely took some styling cues from Genesis. So great job, Hyundai. This is what you do well, and you do it really well. And I would be proud to drive one of these cars. Hey, make sure you follow our podcast. You can go to iTunes. Just type in WCSX or In the Garage, ITG. Lots of great guests. We had Brad Keselowski on, NASCAR champion, talking about the new rules packages. We also had Holly Holm, the UFC fighter, and we got a lot more coming up too. And then, of course, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube if you're watching the review here. We're always posting up new cars. Got some interesting ones on the way too. So thanks again for sharing some time with us, staying in the garage. Have a great day. See you.